Whoo, it's been a day. It's been a day. It's been a day. All right, I was like interviewing folk again. I got another interview to put together. It's short. It's short. I'll share that one next time. But I'm getting more comfortable with interviewing people. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. When I tell you that in football, the agendas, whether it's Kevin Stefanski's agenda, whether it's the University of Michigan's agenda, Sherrone Moore's agenda, the judge that gave the girl Shannon was caught in a consensual relationship with agenda, the New York Giants agenda, the Cleveland Browns agenda, agendas rule football. It's not even about football no more. We straight out here. You able to predict who can win and lose based on what the agenda is, not the talent of the athletes on the field. It's all about agendas. And I posted a video not too long ago on IG questioning the agenda of the University of Michigan. Because why? Details are coming out. Was Sherrone Moore guilty of cheating? If he and his wife were still married and not going through a legal separation, then yes. But now, see, all of that's being called into question. Why? Because he had a key to the lady's house. She worked there. He gave her a raise. The HR department approved it. And everybody knew about the side piece adventures. Everybody knew about it. Not only were they making it obvious, but the athletic director, the higher ups all knew about the relationship. So tonight, I question the timing of his firing. And you're going to hear Shannon Sharpe say something that tells you my questioning is correct. Here's the thing, right? This happened a couple of days ago. And the name already floated out there to be the next head coach is Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator for the Browns. We talked about that. Last time, if Tommy Rees was going to get the job at UCLA, we talked about that. Somebody trying to position Tommy Rees because there's an agenda. We know Kevin Stefanski has an agenda. We know he has an agenda so much that he said he could get himself another job. Turns out, no. But there's one name that's been associated with two clubs within the last week. And I think there's an agenda. Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman was supposedly in the run-in to be his head coach should Stefanski get fired in Cleveland. And now, listening to Giants podcasters, they're excited because Marcus Freeman is one of the supposed finalists to be the head coach over in New York. So what's the agenda there? Cleveland, New York Giants. What player comes to mind with two of those clubs? Shedeur Sanders. So if we hire Marcus Freeman in New York, because they probably ain't going to beat Cleveland, after we fired Daboll, who defamed Shedeur and executed a character assassination, what are we doing? We're posturing to appear not what? That's the agenda. Also to get Marcus Freeman, a black head coach, out of college football. What have we learned about black head coaches in the NFL and in college football recently that don't see color? They eventually see color. Sherrone Moore said he see color. In fact, I have a little snippet of a headline that says Sherrone Moore basically could be like the litmus test for all black head coaches in college football. This was in February of 2024. So they sold and packaged Sherrone Moore as if he had done something to earn being the patsy for taking over a scandal-ridden University of Michigan where they were facing suspension and had to miss some games because Harbaugh was allowed to escape and elevate after a cheating scandal. Do you understand that they sold to this man that it was good that he didn't see color? And now he in jail. Well, he was until earlier today, until he posted bond. And let me explain something. Sherrone Moore, his rise was aided by Jim Harbaugh's support. This man was the patsy after a cheating scandal. Who else gonna want a job where the coach gotta be suspended for some games because they were cheated? If I wasn't cheating, why would I want a job where I gotta be held accountable for cheating? And then now, look, we're at the end of the season. It's the end of the season. The season is over. They moving on to the postseason. Neither team made the playoffs. Michigan, number 18, and the team they get ready to play, number 13, in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve is none other than Arch Manning and the University of Texas. Now, what I told you about when their Manning's name keep coming up, what I told you about when their name keep coming up, there's an agenda. There's an agenda in Cleveland. People swear he ain't coming out of school, but let him go in here and beat Michigan now that they in disarray again, and he just might. Why? Nobody's promised tomorrow. Look what happened to Drew Allard, who was a top 5 candidate to come out in the first round of the draft. He got injured. He can't come out because he got injured. Players get injured. And they were already working to man the kid to come out anyway. Just because they ain't talking about it, don't mean it wouldn't happen. They done somehow made it to number 13, just outside the playoffs. But now that Michigan is suddenly thrown in disarray after the coach was fired for a well-known side piece adventure by the university who gave his side piece a $40,000 raise for being an assistant. The same university talked to him about his relationship and said, look, the two of you can't work together, so you're going to have to transfer her out. That don't sound like an inappropriate relationship. You're going to have to transfer her to another location. Y'all can't work in the same space. So they knew about it. For whatever reason, he decided to let her be the one get fired. And guess what happened? She ran up to the school after she got fired in a role that only he could put her in. She got fired and then showed them all the text messages that they knew about the relationship, but she showed them all these text messages she'd been saving, and they fired him. This is after the plan B arrived in his office. I'm like, okay, so you got played. And mind you, Sherrone Moore played himself. They played Sherrone Moore. He played himself. Talking about he don't see color. I think the last person I heard talking about they don't see ethnicities is the University of Colorado when it came to Coach Prime. But look at how that's going. It's not a coincidence. They're trying to get Marcus Freeman out of college and send him to one of the 2 teams that defamed and assassinated Shedeur's character and could be sued under the ground behind. And he's visibly Black, even though he, like Sherrone Moore, don't see color, denied his Blackness. You gonna see color, just like Sherrone Moore, because he locked up. He locked up. So first of all, they gashed Sherrone Moore up into making him feel special for taking over a scandal-ridden program that was hampered by suspension. They used him to lure in their $10 million quarterback, Bryce Underwood. And they just threw Bryce Underwood's career into disarray by firing a head coach before they played UT, where there's something for somebody over there to gain at UT from this matchup, when apparently they knew the position was going to come open for weeks. They had already been talking to candidates. So they was hiring people, interviewing people behind his back, which is how they could come out with Tommy Rees so fast. So from February, when they wanted him to take over the scandal-ridden program, he was a hero or something. That's how they gassed him up. Talking about other Black coaches learned from him. The support of Harbaugh, who left him a scandal-ridden program that he, Sherrone Moore, had to suffer the consequences. He was the patsy to make sure that Bryce Underwood commit to Michigan. He was the patsy to take the fall for the scandal. A reporter set up on the news today and said Sherrone Moore has been in trouble before for a cheating scandal at the University of Michigan. I'm like, damn. Are you kidding me? And they want to build him up like he all of that, and they tore him down with a quickness. A quickness. And now Bryce Underwood is in a vulnerable position. So somebody looked it up and said that Bryce Underwood doesn't have a buyout clause. The way the contract works, he can leave and hop in the transfer portal. I'm going to ask you this question just in case you wasn't on there earlier. Where the hell he going to go? To Oregon? He going to be pigeonholed to certain places. It's going to be certain places he can't go. The last time he had freedom of choice was when he signed his name on the dotted line for $10 million to the University of Michigan. And now the second scandal since this kid has been associated with this school, and the coach that got him there been tossed out before they play the University of Texas, which could benefit Arch Manning. Because if they go over there and ball out against a scandal-ridden Michigan again, Bryce Underwood gonna suffer, but he gonna have some money though. He gonna have that money. And if he leave, are they gonna want that money back? Is he free to go? Because you didn't get $10 million for 1 year, did you? If so, good for him. But I hope he read the fine print. Because now his career hangs in the balance because his boss decided to be selfish and think that he could get away with what his colleagues can get away with. They were already interviewing. They had already planned to fire him. And they waited until after Ohio State and before the University of Texas. Because this game can work in Arch Manning's favor. If he come out smelling like roses, he going to be in Cleveland. That's why Cleveland, even though they know Shedeur is the franchise, they talk about Quinshon Judkins being the future. They talk about Harold Fanning Jr. being the future, but they refuse to say that about Shedeur. And it's not they just don't want Shedeur. Because no, they don't want to win with Shedeur. But they got their sights set on somebody. And I think somebody, family, trying to convince them to come out now. Because look at what happened with Quinn Ewers when he stayed at UT. His draft stock fell. Look at Drew Allard, who went back to Penn State. He's injured. His draft stock gonna fall. Stay tuned, people. I believe that is the agenda. That being, we gonna fire him anyway. So let's just do it after the Ohio State game because we don't want to mess that up. But let's get him out of here. So maybe we give Arch Manning a shot because Michigan is in disarray. Who the hell gonna be the coach? The guy that ain't the head coach? The guy that they not considering the head coach because they already interviewed other people? So Arch Manning go out here and ball out against a scandal-ridden Michigan looking like roses. Prepare for the conversation. Stay tuned because I think that's the agenda. And then the other agenda, to fire Sherrone Moore, and I am by no means taking up for him. This coming from the legal side of things. This is coming from the legal side of things because I think he got a case. Because see, here's the thing, right? Just like they were already interviewing candidates for the job, they knew about his side piece adventures. I don't know if he and his wife were getting separated. He had a key to this woman's house. And the university knew that they were in a relationship and told him, well, we're going to have to transfer her out. Y'all can't work in the same place. So I don't know how it is. You can say he had an inappropriate relationship if you can tell him that she got to transfer out. And that's it. When you find out about the relationship, you didn't fire him. You know why? Because there's other people over there doing that. It's other coaches that have done that too. They fired him after she came forward with the text messages. But they already knew about the relationship. So what was it in the text messages that convinced them that he was in a relationship with her when for a fact they knew he was in a relationship with her because apparently HR went to him and said, hey, we're going to have to transfer her to a different department. So either the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing or the second agenda. We're going to fire you because we already interviewed other people and we are avoiding paying your $14 million buyout. So the timing fits. The timing fits because they're already interviewing other people for the job. So really, it was nothing in her text messages. It was nothing that she said. It's because they knew. And that's why he out on only a $25,000 bond. And that's why his highest charge is felony home invasion. But they say that's going to get tossed because he had a key to her apartment. You see, somebody saw an opportunity when they were looking for another coach because they were done with Sherrone Moore after they gassed him up to take a job of a scandal-ridden program and take the fall for it. Because the media show blamed him for it today. They done. We got Bryce Underwood. The season's over. We don't need you no more. So we're going to get you out of here before we play UT. And we're going to let Arch Manning get another game off. Because he probably coming out of school. And guess what? Since your relationship is inappropriate, we're not paying you your $14 million, even though we knew about your inappropriate relationship. Agendas, people. They want to snake this man on a $14 million buyout about a relationship that they knew about. Even HR approved her $40,000 salary. Somebody need to be fired for that. The people that went to him and said, hey, we got to transfer her out because we getting in trouble. You know why? Because people have been talking about the relationship for the longest. His side piece adventures were happening in public. He had a key to her house. It's possible he and his wife split up. It's possible they were like a lot of couples that don't ever get a goddamn divorce. It's possible he moved out and moved to her house. And instead of it being a home invasion, he opened the key and he used the key to open the door. Come to find out, he wasn't even trying to harm her. He wanted her to watch him off himself with a butter knife. So he was crazy because he realized he was losing everything, or he realized he had been played the whole way through because he likely found out that everybody already knew they were going to fire him, and they used his side piece adventures, which carried out in public, that everybody knew about, not only one, to fire him, but two, to snake him out of a $14 million buyout. Agendas. That's what I mean by football is just who gonna win. Let's see. What's the agenda here? Just like Shedeur versus Caleb. What's the agenda? Last week, it was Shedeur versus Caleb. What was the agenda? It was an elimination game for the Browns because the Browns didn't want to advance in the playoffs. So the Titans won. This week, it could be an elimination game for the Bears because they closer in the playoffs and the Browns are not. So who gonna win? Shedeur. And why would that help? Who would that help? Stefanski. Because he will win a fourth game this year. Shedeur could be helping to save his career now that he know he ain't gonna get no other job. Because they didn't put Marcus Freeman out in front of him because they got damage control to do where Shedeur is already concerned in New York. If they never had a black franchise quarterback drafted in the first round, why the hell they gonna run out here and draft a black coach? Especially one like Sherrone Moore, who don't see color. But we know he black because he looked like Usher. His features. Agendas. It ain't even about who's the best team no more. It's so many scandals out here connected from college to the NFL that it's just agendas. Bryce Underwood, career disrupted by an agenda to snake Sherrone Moore out of $14 million. And people say that's his fault. If him and his wife are married, it damn sure is his fault. But Michigan also had a hand in this, out here interviewing people when they just gave him a 5-year contract. In 2024, where the hell is he going? What you fired him for? They got a 93 record. Who else you know got a 5-year contract? You see? Never gonna see the end of that. Because that's the agenda. It's just crazy out here. Let's listen to Shannon talk about this situation. Shannon gonna confirm what I'm saying. They were already interviewing people. So they were already playing behind his back and used his very public side piece adventure to snake him out of $14 million before they played the University of Texas to give Arch Manning a chance at looking like a star so they could convince him to come out of college this year.
Hamill added that the fine will be for cause. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Emanuel said in a statement that Moore was fired after an internal investigation revealed credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, which is a violation of university policy. Moore took over the full-time job from Jim Harbaugh, who left to go to coach the Chargers in 2024 after the Wolverines won a national championship. Remember, he fielded in a couple of games when Harbaugh was suspended. He was the offensive coordinator and he was the interim head coach, and that's how he parlayed that into the job. Michigan knew about Moore's situation for a while and internally waited after the signing day period to take action, according to Josh Pate. Pate claims insiders have been expecting the job to come open for weeks, and now Michigan has likely already engaged in potential candidates. We saw a situation with Ime Udoka. We saw a situation with Mel Tucker.
Did y'all hear that? Michigan had already had them some candidates. So they were going to fire him anyway. They didn't even need the scandal. But see, like it says on the screen, who said that? He sealed his fate when he ran in there with a butter knife. When he ran to his side piece house, put the key in the door, opened it, and started crashing out. Oh my God, they fired me. I'm losing my job. I don't even know if he knew at the time that she's the one that told. It don't matter because they had already been interviewing people. He wanted to end it all. He wanted her to watch, but she the victim. How is she a victim if he had a key? If everybody knew about the relationship, now he see color because she a victim when actually he the one being played. But everybody got to learn. When you want to sit up here and denounce your blackness, Marcus Freeman, you're going to learn. It's just Sherrone Moore's time to learn. Played him like a $2 pump. Like, just sad, bro.
Situation for a while and internally waited after the signing day period to take action.
Waited till after the signing day period. So he was there and written into Harbaugh's contract so he could seal the fate to get who? Bryce Underwood. And then they waited to after this signing day period to get all them recruits who was coming because of him and what he had done at the program. And then, yeah, agendas, bruh.
Action, according to Josh Pate. Pate claims insiders have been expecting the job to come open for weeks and now.
Insiders expected the job to come open for weeks. So when it was discussed on X last night that boosters hired private detectives to look and find something, they ain't even need nothing. They just decided, well, let's just use the relationship. We'll just say it was inappropriate. But they dumb because everybody already knew it was inappropriate. But they set him up with a plan B to make it seem like, oh my God, what's going on? But they must have forgot. They went to this man and said, hey, she got to work in a different department. You didn't think the relationship was inappropriate if she got to go to a different department? This is crazy. Agendas. Yes, he sealed his own fate. Yes, he crashed out. Yes, this is on him. But there's something else happening here too. There's something else happening here too with these universities luring in and scapegoating these black head coaches because Coach Prime. And when they get what they want, Travis Hunter back at a PWI instead of an HBCU, they destroy not only their careers, they destroy their reputations. This ain't just about Sherrone Moore. This is about the beloved Coach Prime. Understand that. So let's finish listening to Shannon.
Now, Michigan has likely already engaged in potential candidates. We saw a situation with Ime Udoka. We saw a situation with Mel Tucker. It's happened. I think Rick Pitino had a situation like that. I think Bobby Petrino had and I can imagine 6-7 months ago, I went through something very similar. So I know what that storm is like. Yes, and unless you've been in it, that's why when people say, this is what I would do, you don't know what you do until you in it. Until you in that pressure cooker, until you in the eye of the storm.
Yes, sir.
Until you in Ocho, you and I have had a conversation. So yes, I know. Mm-hmm. To be in that storm and to know everybody know everything that you worked your entire life for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about that. Sherrone Moore doesn't get sympathy for a number of reasons. Yes, he was married. No, we don't know if his wife was divorced. I don't know what the hell is going on there. But he don't get no sympathy from people because he say he don't see color. See, that's the biggest problem. See, it's not, you can't feel sorry for people as long as I don't get caught. It's cool. But the moment I do, I feel sorry for myself and I crash out. That's not what this conversation is about. This not about sympathy at all. This is about peeling back the veil to look at the motivation of these universities when it comes to luring in these black head coaches to dispose of them and destroy their reputation so they can't work nowhere else. That's what this is about. And when Shannon is saying, and y'all let me know if y'all see Shannon's situation and Chiron's situation, I say yes. But again, Shannon wasn't married. So we're not talking about honor your wedding vows here. The similarities between Shannon and Ocho come in because they chose not to see color. That's it. That's why Shannon and Ocho, or Shannon and Chiron and Mel Tucker are in the same boat of losing everything. But did the white coaches in the same situation lose everything? Probably not. So what that means as a black influencer, executive, head coach, whatever, if you got a bag, if they paying you a bag and you have decision-making ability and influence, you better see color because they see it, because that's why they came and got you. So this is not about his infidelity with his wife. I don't care about that because he gonna have to deal with that. This is about what I see happening with these larger PWIs and how they are luring in these black coaches and putting them in situations, or exploiting what everybody else does, but using it only to fire them and snatch off their buyout when they don't do the same for a white coach. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about the timing of him being fired after signing day, after securing Bryce Underwood, knowing he was the draw, and before they get ready to play Arch Manning, who need another game to look good. And if Michigan is in shambles, then he gets that game. The agenda. That's what I'm talking about. But Shannon's situation is similar to Sherrone Moore's because neither one of them chose to see color.
You feel it like it's crumbling right before your eyes.
You don't.
Yeah. And the only people that's going to be there, it's going to be a select few. It's going to be a select few. That's the hardest part.
I thought Shannon was crying right here.
I mean, everybody, look, it's kind of, look, and I understand the situation, but if you're married and you engage in an inappropriate relationship, why would you do that? You married.
Right. See, I ain't even addressing that because he gonna have to deal with that in family court. I ain't even worried about that. And if they not divorced already or they hadn't, whatever, I don't care about that part. I see what I see happening to black head coaches because I'm looking at what's already going on with Coach Prime. Mel Tucker laid his bed and made his bed and laid in it, right? Sherrone Moore laid his bed and now he needs to lay in it. But understand, they coming for Coach Prime in the same manner of, we're done with you. They didn't see color either. That's what they said. That's a lie. And after they want to be done with Coach Prime because they got Travis back and he gone, we done with you. So that 5-year contract they gave him wasn't going to never materialize. That's fraud. Just like that 5-year contract they gave Sherrone Moore wasn't going to never materialize. That's also fraud. And to exploit and to take away his buyout for a relationship you knew about is also fraud. And they don't do this to white head coaches. That's what I care about. Because I see they trying to come for Coach Prime. So this a heads up. And any of these other coaches that want to go to these PWIs, you better see some color. Because that's why they coming for you. In Michigan, they dirty for this. They dirty. And so was Michigan State. They knew what they was doing. They plotting. But you got to be crazy to be out here in their space like that, where they already don't want you, where you the only chip in the cookie and you don't see color. You let them people gas you up into not seeing color when they saw your color the whole time. Lesson learned. Lesson learned for everybody like Sherrone Moore, who come from different backgrounds, who come to this country and think that you special because they want to exploit you rather than an African American. We don't want to be exploited. And now you got to learn the hard way. Let's see if he ever get a second chance. I think his second chance is they over there making sure that he don't get the book thrown at him, but it's enough. They're going to act like they're his savior while they robbing him of $14 million at the same time. Watch what I tell you. What he probably gonna unfortunately gonna do something to himself. They don't even know if he gonna be able to go back home. So now that he out of jail, he probably got to go to a hotel or a friend's couch. And I don't know who many people want to bring that into their house, especially if they are married and people know he supposedly cheated on his wife and his kids. So I don't know. This situation is bad. That's all I'm gonna say. It's bad. We're going to let Shannon finish up.
Everybody always say, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, if you thought you was going to get caught, if you thought something was going to go wrong, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
The same reason you speed. If you thought you was going to get caught, you think you would speed? No. Unless you're a kleptomaniac, you're not going to steal. You know, klepto just can't help it. But some people don't. You don't shoplift. You don't steal stuff that you think you'll get caught. That's why a lot of people, most robberies happen at when? At night. You got the veil of darkness because I don't want to get caught. I don't want to be seen. The same thing while you creep. Most times, when the creeping take place? At night.
Right.
Boy, a college professor told me, say the night has 1,000 eyes. And on most nights it has 1,002 because somebody sees you.
There you go. And I'm going to tell you right now, in college, I was a straight up night owl and I saw all kind of stuff. Saw all kind of people. They saw us creeping with their boyfriends. I was like, God darn. Yeah, Shannon right about that. It's a lot that happens at night because people think everybody sleep. That's facts, bro. That's facts. So one thing I can say about Shannon's situation that's different from Sherrone Moore, Shannon has his own entrepreneurial outlet. He got his own platform. It was still there. He didn't abandon it to go to ESPN. He lost ESPN, but he still had what he created. So he can go back and run it up. But $23 million is a lot to run up. But Shannon said he made more. And I think a judge heard it. More with that Cat Williams interview that he made in the NFL. I think he said at one year or something like that. I think a judge heard it. Because to ask for every dime that Shannon made in the NFL over the tenure of his career, that if that woman was black, that wouldn't have never happened like that. And she probably would even never got that verdict. So Shannon can give him advice because he's losing everything. But Shannon's not married. But I do think he was seeing somebody else at the same time. So the point is, neither one of them saw color. And they fooled with the same kind of snow. And that's what's causing them problems. The same mousetrap with the same cheese. So that's it, right? That's on that. All right. So I want to turn my attention to Kevin Stefanski. This interview I had saved. I'm going to listen to it, see what he's talking about. Because I started this conversation. There's an agenda coming up this weekend, right? And we're going to head over to the comments to hear y'all's thoughts. I mean, there's an agenda coming up this weekend with Shedeur Sanders playing the Chicago Bears. Why? Because the Chicago Bears are in playoff contention. So I haven't heard any win-loss scenarios for this game for them, but I'm not a Chicago fan. I'm not tuned in to their content. But I know enough to know that they've won the most games in their division, but they're in second place because the team in front of them won the most home games. So this is a home game. So if they win this game, it could be good for Chicago. And to listen to Kevin Stefanski in this interview about Shedeur, to see how they're forcing Kevin Stefanski to bend his play calling to fit Shedeur's off-schedule plays, because that's what they call it. And to know that Kevin Stefanski's only won 3 games this year, and he won 3 games last year, so it will behoove him to win one more game. And now to see the long list of players who are questionable and out, and it seems like the Hungry Dogs are going to be in. It feels like Shedeur is going to get to play his game, and they're going to take it from Caleb, who they don't want to go to the playoffs and advance. Make sense? The agenda. All right, so let's take a listen to this, and you tell me what you think about the tone that Kevin Stefanski's is given.
Quarterbacks that have always made plays outside the structure of their offense from when they were young to when they get to the pros. And you never want to take that away from a player. And Shedeur has a ability to make plays off schedule. So that's something that you certainly want to promote and enhance and get the team playing to that style as well. You also want to make it easy for your quarterback when you can, and when you can get those completions on time. And
isn't that something? Suddenly he has seen the goddamn light. I wonder if it was because he put out all those feelers about him getting another job. And the only name coming up is Marcus Freeman. And there's an agenda there too, right? So suddenly he has seen the light after they made him bend towards Shilo Sanders' style of play. And he normal now. So let's keep listening. And we're going to run it back and listen to it again.
Play within the rhythm of the offense. That makes you really difficult to defend. A lot of quarterbacks around the league, and some of the great ones, you see them, their ability to make plays off schedule when, as Coach Muss would say, when the chalk runs out on the chalkboard. You know, that's really hard. It's a trait that not many people possess. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have always made plays outside the structure of their offense from when they were young to when they get to the pros.
All right. Translation. Shedeur isn't doing anything other quarterbacks don't do. What I translate, that's what somebody told him. Shedeur's not doing anything the other great quarterbacks don't do.
And you never want to take that away from a player. And Shedeur has a ability to make plays off schedule. So
and you should work with him because he has an ability to make plays off schedule. And that's not, something that's an anomaly. This happens with quarterbacks since they were young to their older. So Shedeur's not doing anything that's different from any other quarterback who's good at his craft. So this is where they're forcing Stefanski to bend.
Something that you certainly want to promote and enhance and get the team playing to that style as well. You also
and that's what they told him.
Make it.
This is something you want to promote, you want to enhance, and you want to get the team on board with playing Shedeur's style of football. Now this is different because they haven't cared about Shedeur's style of football. Even last week, they just say they was gonna let it rip. They had an issue when he threw that ball to Dylan Sampson off schedule. But now that the playoffs are over, Stefanski's tone has changed. And this is where I see an agenda based on who Shedeur is getting ready to face off with. Now, in the members only live stream today, we rewatched the extended highlights from USC versus Colorado because I wanted the members and anybody else that want to be a member, go see it. I wanted them to see just how dynamic and exciting their game was. And the spread for this game is only 40 points. They scored 89 points between the two teams. So it tells you the spread already has them suppressed. That's why I showed it, so people could see how they really play, despite how they're being held back. So Stefanski's singing a new tune now that the Browns can't go to the playoffs. And we getting ready to go to see Chicago.
Easy for your quarterback when you can, and when you can get those completions on time and play within the rhythm of the offense. That makes you really difficult to defend. A lot of quarterbacks.
So, Shedeur is really difficult to defend. It will be to our advantage to allow him to play off schedule, get the offense in rhythm, right? And they'll catch up with him and it'll be easy. So what I'm hearing, and you let me know, what I'm hearing is the game plan this week is for Shedeur to go out here and ball the hell out on Caleb Williams. Don't forget, they just paid his backup $10 million and his backup went to a D3 school. So who you think they want to win? Caleb or Shedeur? Let me know in the comments. Caleb or Shedeur? Keep listening, because this sure is a new tune.
Around the league, and some of the great ones, you see them, their ability to make plays off schedule when, as Coach Muss would say, when the chalk runs out on the chalkboard. You know, that's really hard. It's a trait that not many people possess.
My. Well, suddenly they gassing up Shedeur. Suddenly they are gassing up Shedeur. They want to give him an award. ESPN want to give him the Himmy. He don't want that. He want to win. Remember, Shedeur knows the game plan. He already saw the pretense. He already has them with skinning and grinning in Coach Prime's face and doing what? Letting Stefanski hold them back for at least a third of the game. Between the beginning and the end, a third of the game. He already knows that they over there still practicing them damn Wildcats. That was last week. And they probably still practicing them damn Wildcats. So Shedeur is cautious. He don't want to go out here and celebrate because he's not being allowed to be the quarterback that he is. But Stefanski sure is talking a good game. Stefanski sure is singing a new song. I wonder what the agenda is. If I had to guess, it's so that Caleb Williams can lose and not advance in the playoffs. Let's see if I'm right. Don't forget, we have a watch party. We have a watch party. Sunday, 12:50 p.m. Same channel, same time. All right. So let me see what y'all are saying. Yes, Stefanski singing a new tone. I was going to get to Shilo, but I'm going to save him till next time. I want to get to the comments and give y'all time to share, what y'all wanted to say. Hold on one second. All right, let's see here. See here. There's over 230 of us. Hit the like button, please. It said, hey, Nola girl, how you doing? I just love your content and are very on point and factual. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's nice. We got a new member or somebody rejoined, Takesha or Takesha. Okay, thank you. Welcome back, Takesha. We have the NFL Flex Browns games now televised. Shedeur making it do what it do. Oh, okay. It said NFL Flex Browns games now televised. Okay, so that's an announcement. Sounds like there's some games on. You're going to need to expand a little bit, MLM. What you talking about that? I put it on the screen so people can know. Yes, sir. How you doing? It says, Shedeur, go get it and come back with it. I know that's right. Add another award. I don't want another award by ESPN. I want him to get another rookie of the week. Why is that? Because that's propaganda. That's propaganda. The fans keep voting for Shedeur. The fans' voices are being heard. And Shedeur know he's loved despite what the hell they got going on. There's a reason why he didn't buy into that Himmy. How consistent has ESPN been about Shedeur? Where the hell does Rex Ryan work? Where does Dan Orlovsky work? All right then, to hell with that. That's just a distraction. Shedeur wants to win the game. If they wanted him to have it, they could have gave it to him before. So I'm not buying into nothing they giving. It said, hey gang, how you doing? It said, well then, who are the what? I don't know. There'd be conversations happening in the chat. Hey there, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back. It said, hey, what she said in chat and family. It said, I received my Shedeur sweatshirt today. It's really nice. Okay, Crowley. Thank you, my sister. Okay, well, enjoy. And show off your Shedeur pride. That's awesome. Thank you, Crowley, for letting me know. Isaiah said, hey, sis, how you doing? Hit the like button, hit the share button. It said, we feel you, sis. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy out here. It's crazy. It said, bro threw his whole life away in 8 hours. Right. That had to be the fastest crash out I have ever seen. I'm like, you woke up in the morning and you had a job. You was going to get you some bonuses because you had a winning season. And all the while, they was interviewing people behind your back, but you ain't know that. You lost your family, your wife, your kids, your paycheck, and your $14 million buyout, and your little crazy side piece. And nobody respects you because they know you was a cheater. And even if you weren't a cheater, and you and your wife have separated. We ain't gonna never know that part. This was a crash out of epic proportions, and you go over to y'all little crash pad and you want to off yourself with a goddamn butter knife. That ain't gonna get it. That just wasn't gonna get it. So I wish it well, but this is what happens when you don't see color. You don't have a community. See, Shedeur got a community. What did I say? These kids better get them an army before they leave college and come to this league. Shedeur got a community so much so ESPN want to give him something so we can go over there and watch. No. Kevin Stefanski singing a new tune because pressure ain't nothing to play with. Pressure ain't nothing to play with. He wanted to quit last week. Remember? I want out. I want out. Why? Because the media was pressing him. Because the fans were standing on his head. Pressure ain't no joke. Now he's singing a new tune. Maybe somebody convinced him, if Shedeur win this game, it could look good for you. And it could. Shedeur could save this fool's job. But you see who had the bend? Not Shedeur, but him. And he thought it was his job to break Shedeur because somebody told him that. And the reason he wanted to quit is whoever told him that came back and told him, you're going to need to let Shedeur play his game. Facts. Them tickets are $7. Now, Chicago, they probably sold out. I don't know what they do up there in the winter, but $7 was what it was going for in Cleveland. And they got to come back. They got to come back. So you better get you some act right. Stefanski got him some act right. I'm like, Stefanski was testing the water. Somehow he could get him another job. I'm like, ain't nobody going to hire you. I'm like, the company you work for don't even want you to work here. But since you know where the bodies are buried, we're going to let you ease out down the road, right? I'm like, Stefanski, did you really think somebody was going to hire you? They quickly ran off to Marcus Freeman. And that's the whole agenda in itself. But anyway, I think that Shedeur, they're going to let Shedeur get this one. I wish it was just a fair competition. I'm telling y'all, it would be great. To see two teams put up 40 points each. Whoo. And I know people are going to be like, this the NFL. And the players in the NFL also came from college. So like I said, it would be nice. It's that she needs to be fired as well. Right. That's another thing too. I forgot about that. How is it that they tell him he got to transfer her to another unit in a different location because you can't date nobody that's your superior, right? But he could approve and HR could approve her raise. They knew about this, but they fired him after he fired her. He was the employee first, and apparently that was his assistant and something, right? And it was all public and everybody knew, and they told him what to do, and he could have agreed to transfer her. I don't know if he texted her first, but what I do know is when he agreed to have her fired, she ran right up there to like the president or something, the athletic director, with all of this text messages and evidence. I'm like, hold on for a minute. What the hell they even need that for? If they told him that she got a transfer. That's the part. See that? That's the part you circle and you put a question mark on. Because if that's the case, he wasn't having an inappropriate relationship. Because you didn't fire him when you found out about it. You just said she had to relocate. Did y'all know who she was? I think that might be why this is going like this. Her father is an NFL scout. Somebody look her up. Her dad is an NFL scout that got something to do with Michigan. I don't know if he recruit from Michigan. I think she come from an NFL family. I think that's what it is. It's something about her. And she comes from an NFL type family. It's her father. So if somebody want to look her up and confirm what was the relationship she has, who is her father, let me know. I looked into that when it first happened, but she wasn't on my radar. It really was trying to figure out what the hell happened. Yep, that's facts. It says Shannon already spoke. Yep, he did. Shannon not going to speak much. I mean, I thought Shannon was good. I thought what Shannon said was that, I felt that Shannon was basically saying he was talking about the fallout. See, their situations are same but different. Like Shannon said, he was married. Why would you do that if you're married, right? Now, Shannon was in a relationship or two, but still he was single. When he filed his taxes, it's single. So can't nobody say he cheating on two women if he ain't married, right? But what got Shannon was I felt like they were prejudicial against him because he was a black man. But I feel the same way about Sherrone Moore, but I don't have any sympathy for him because he chose not to see color and he drank the Kool-Aid. That's just a lesson you got to learn. And he'll work his way up somewhere doing something. I don't know where it's going to be, but somebody give him a job. But this is a lesson for him. And it was a lesson for Shannon because Shannon was going off, popping off, talking about he wasn't giving his daughter $30,000 for a wedding because that's too much money. And he got to pay this little 19-year-old white girl $23 million, which is equivalent to exactly what he made in the NFL. So all your hard work, they just took and gave it to her because you told her you was going to call her back when she called you crying. Yeah. And it probably was fake because everything was being recorded. And they don't even take into consideration that you're being recorded and set up. It don't matter. Just like this girl, why she felt the need to run up there and prove that they was in a relationship that everybody already knew. Why does she need to give the text messages up? He should have asked himself if the cheese was put right there in the mousetrap. So he could be right in the situation he in because they knew and they were already interviewing other candidates for his job. Now, I ain't going to tell him what to do, but there's something he can do because he got to learn. So let's see who comes to his aid now since he don't see color. And that's why people are washing their hands of him, and he shouldn't have done that. But it's a lesson. It said the DoorDasher spilled the beans and Coach Moore was fired. Yeah, I think that was some kind of setup. It said, I appreciate your programs and thank you for your show. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It said, I think Prime going to Michigan or Cleveland. I don't want Coach Prime nowhere near Michigan. In fact, I want him the hell out of college football. Nope. Because ultimately, who got their fingers in it? So he might as well go work there for the NFL. That's facts. Personally, I would like him to start his own league, to be honest, but I don't know if he would do that at this moment. Yep, Jim Crow, that's what it is. White men could do it, but black men can't. And because Sherrone Moore didn't see color, he couldn't see Jim Crow. Julian Johnson Law, black people underestimate, including Trinidadians, Jim Crow and just how far they're willing to go. But see, because you don't see color, you wasn't looking for the trap. That's what happened with Shannon. So what you're really saying is he's donkey of the week. Facts, 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 facts. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, I can see Coach Prime getting a better gig. Yeah, I think he need to move on because they playing him just like they played Sherrone Moore. Believe me, if they thought they could get him like they got Sherrone Moore, they would win for a double. Yeah. Yep. It said he did the ultimate. Yep, he sure did. She did get fired. I knew that he fired her, but she ran up there to save her job. And because they trying to say her proving with text messages is how he got fired. But you already knew. So that whole plan B crap, that was a plot. They already knew about the relationship. How do you think this woman was able to get a $40,000 raise? He don't write no checks around there. He ain't HR. They knew. They knew. So they're going to have to explain themselves. But they probably over there telling him, we're going to help you. And they are, because his charges, felony home invasion, I thought they said he attacked her with a knife. That's what they said. This fool had a butter knife trying to off himself and wanted her to watch. She ain't the victim. Actually, he is. But they both should be fired. If he was in a relationship that's inappropriate with her, she was in a relationship that's inappropriate with him. Again, the agenda. I'm trying to figure out if they already knew what her text messages prove. I think it was just a plot because they was already interviewing. They just needed a reason to get rid of him. And because they was already interviewing and we know we gonna fire you, guess what? We don't want to pay you the $14 million. And that's what I think they wanted the text messages for. They already knew what time it was. They just wanted receipts. But I don't know if they're going to really help them like that. It's that Prime at Cleveland or Michigan. Yeah, I don't know. It's that I don't feel sorry for him. Sherrone Moore, he got just what he deserves. I bet he see color now. That's what people are saying. Yep, he's the foul guy. He's the foul guy. All Bryce Underwood has to do is hit the portal. Let's see how that go. Because Nico left Tennessee, didn't he? How did that go? You see what happened when these kids want to leave these programs? It's not so simple. I will say this about Sherrone Moore's selfish behavior being more harmful than to just his kids, because he has 3 children. It's harmful, and it puts Bryce Underwood, who came there because of him, in a vulnerable situation. And shame on Michigan for waiting until after signing day to get the kids. That's how you know. That's what Sherrone Moore's role was, to take over a scandal-ridden program and secure Bryce Underwood, because he's black. Bryce Underwood sees color. Now let's see what he sees next. Underwood is pigeonholed. I think he might be too. Because for once you take that money, I don't know how you get out of that, right? I don't know how that works. That's something to be looked into. It said hopefully he has a clause where if the head coach leaves us fired, he's free to transfer with no penalty to pay any money back. I don't know a lawyer in the world that would just let that happen. Why the hell would I give you $10 million and because your coach leave, let you keep it? Who gonna do that? Ain't no lawyer gonna agree to that. I mean, on the recipient side, yes, but on the Michigan side, because Michigan knew they was gonna fire Sherrone Moore in February. That's why they were gassing him up. I wonder how long they really been looking. What did Shannon Sharpe say? They knew for weeks now the position was gonna become available, so they didn't even need the scandal. The scandal was to void the $14 million. That's what the scandal was for. I already was going to get rid of you anyway. And anybody trying to kill themselves with a butter knife ain't thinking too clearly. So we're going to see what happens. People say he trying to play crazy. I'm like, now he is crazy right now, because he has lost everything in one business day. Everything. The kids. They say the wife said when he get out of jail, he can't go back there. So I don't know. Hopefully his direct deposit, he can stay at a hotel, because he in a tough spot, but he put himself there. And now he see color. So it'd be crazy if he at the hotel and everything is black. Stop funny. The towel's black, the comforter black, the wallpaper black. Every time he see black, he gonna be traumatized. Because if you say you don't see color, you trying to get got. You better see color in the United States of these Americas. You better see color, because they damn sure see it. That's why they came and got you. That's just crazy. But it goes to show you that they'll give these coaches 5-year contracts, knowing damn well you ain't gonna never get to be there for 5 years. That's my point. And they be shopping behind your back, but you let Coach Prime shop, and it's a problem. It said Bryce should go to Syracuse. That's what I say. Go over there to Syracuse, because they lost their quarterbacks last year. I like that idea. The only reason I say I don't mention Colorado, 1, we got Juju. And 2, hell, he might end up at Oregon. That might be where they're trying to steer him to. Because, Dante Moore, right, is coming out this year, which I wish he would go another year, but he going to come out this year. South Carolina losing Lenore Sellers. Ty Sampson is leaving on from Alabama. Penn State lost Drew Allar. LSU is losing Nussmeier, but he ain't good. UCLA, I think, is losing Nico, unless he's going to stay back a year. I hope he don't go to Oregon. And I hope, I like the Arch kid, but I think I see what's going on here. I hope Michigan get it together and annihilate the University of Texas in the Cheez-It Bowl. I ain't going to watch the bowl, but I'm going to be looking for the score. Yeah, because I think that's why this is happening right now. It's not a coincidence that's their next game. It's not a coincidence they've been pushing this kid, propping him up, making him seem like he better as he is. I told y'all, they didn't beat Oklahoma. And it's not a coincidence. They had already been shopping for another coach, and they waited until the next game is what? That kid needs a game to look like an all-out star. And what team to slam dunk on other than one who just lost their coach? You see? Scandal as a strategy. It said they need to remove Michigan and put Notre Dame instead. I agree, but I don't know if that's going to happen. It said don't see color, boneheaded delusion, right? It said Bryce played for Fran Brown. Yeah, I think he should go to Syracuse. Let's see if it happens, because knowing Fran Brown, he already trying to get it. I hope he go over there, to be honest. I think that's where he should go. I can't even think of another school that pops out in my mind because Colorado tripping. So I'm just rolling with Coach Prime until, right? And in some way, I hope Coach Prime defeats CU at its own game. And they go out with the new people he have, and they just lay it down. They just flat out, oh, we didn't know it was going to be like that. Make them eat their words, right? But then in some respects, I wish he would get the hell on, because I think it's wrong what they're doing. It's the same thing. We don't need you no more. That's the whole agenda. You was already temporary, and we ready for you to go, so they're going to do it any kind of dirty kind of way. Messing up the recruiting, bro, that mean they ain't going to never stop. I don't like that. So I say, yeah, I hope you move on the ass. Go to Vegas. They need another coach because Pete Carroll cannot get it done. So they don't want black coaches at the collegiate level. Competition for white college coaches, recruitment of black football players. Right. See, example, CP presents a disruption. Totally agree, Elaine. Totally agree. And to me, that's why they try to boot Marcus Freeman out, talking about him going to New York. I'm like, and if he don't work out, he ain't going to have no job. That's the point. We just want to get y'all out of college. Sherrone Moore with this foolishness. Right? Mel Tucker already eliminated himself ever. He ain't going to get no second chance nowhere. They don't do that. That's the whole point, that he ain't going to get no second chance. And the way they're trying to do Coach Prime, they don't want him to coach in college no more. But I hope Coach Prime land on his feet like a cat. I would like it if he was the head coach in Vegas or Cleveland, but something going to have to happen to make something shake in Cleveland, because, Haslam's still on that time. But Vegas, they were nice first. So let's see what happens. But I'm sick of Colorado and the way they treat Coach Prime. I believe it's both. Yep. It says Chiron was scheduled for a 1-game suspension next season because of the role he played under the Harbaugh scandal. Yeah. And Harbaugh got to elevate and Chiron in jail. Anyway, it said these tethers, yep. And they talking about he wearing a GPS tether. I said, oh, is that what we calling an ankle bracelet now? They talking about he on a $25,000 bond. He can't go to her job. I say, is that his old job? I'm like, because that's crazy. See, that'll make me crash out. Make me crash out. I done got you this job, that got you $90,000. You want to run up here and tell people what they already knew, and I had to fire you because I couldn't get fired, and then you gonna rat me out, and I'm gonna run into the house because I got a key, and I'm a off myself with a butter knife. He was just crashing out. He was just crashing out, and I personally think that they don't want him to off himself. I think Michigan gonna swoop in and play the savior, because really they the culprit. But that's how you blind people. Well, let us help you. Talk to the judge. The judge just giving felony. I'm like, what the hell is felony home invasion? I don't even know what kind of sentence they carry, but he ain't gonna get it nowhere. He probably just gonna have on an ankle bracelet for a while, have probation, have to go to therapy, and hopefully not on suicide watch, and get a job at the bottom and work at the 7-Eleven or something like that, because that's just what it's gonna be. That's just what it's going to be, but that's the lesson. He going to see color at the 7-Eleven every day, and he going to learn his lesson. He going to learn his lesson. That's just what it is, bro. That's just what it is. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. A butter knife. Yeah, I'm like, now what you going to do with that? If I heard somebody come to me and say, I'm going to off myself with a butter knife, I ain't even calling 911. I would just put you out. nobody seriously with a butter knife. Yeah, I mean, you just can't. You just can't. I think an actual crab claws would do more damage than, you know how you get the little shrimp knife? That probably would do more damage than a butter knife. I know me, I'm like, are you okay? But somehow she called 911 and I don't know. I'm like, that's what you chose. That's what you chose. So that's just what it is. And Shannon didn't have to speak on it. But see, that's one of the things about Shannon that makes him sharp. Not just his last name, but Shannon can capitalize off of any embarrassment or downfall coming his way. That has been him. Remember when that video came out about him supposedly in the little situation with the chick? And I knew he was set up. And I knew he was set up by a woman who found out he was fooling with somebody else. Because that was so womaness to record it and put it on the internet so the other woman could hear it. I knew what it was. I knew who it was. And he did too. That's why he put her on a t-shirt. Shannon made t-shirts about nightcap fueled by Michelle 67. I'm like, did you put that woman on a t-shirt? And supposedly she ended up suing him too. So I don't know. But that's Shannon. I noticed that about him in the last few years. Any kind of negativity, he gonna flip it into a marketing or he's gonna take the sting out of it, by talking about it. He was clearly embarrassed after that whole intimate detail got leaked. And if y'all was watching, I think it was the Combine or something, some event, the Super Bowl in New Orleans, Coach Prime was on set with Shannon and he was making fun of him, talking about his grunting and stuff like that. But that's been Shannon. He could capitalize off any negativity and take the sting out of it and turn it into something that benefits him. And that's what he did today. He didn't have to talk about this issue. I mean, we already knew anyway, but now it's not a big deal. So shout out to Shannon for being smart, I guess. Instead, his crash out sealed his fate. Fact. Had he not done that, had he just went home or sit in the car and cry, because that's what he should have did. He should have just went to like a Walmart parking lot and walked and just sat in the car and cried. And honestly, because guess what he would be charged with? He wouldn't be charged with felony home invasion. He would not be charged with breaking and entering. And that might get tossed out because the rumor is he had a key. It's not home invasion either if he had a key. Stalking. He wouldn't be charged with stalking and he wouldn't be in jail. He would just be fired. So you got to undo this mess. Hopefully the truth get him out of it, some of it, because I'm pretty sure he got set up by Michigan, but he gave them the leverage, and that's what you can't do. And when you see color, you know how to sidestep those issues of giving them leverage, because you see color, they're going to come for you. So you think twice. And when you see color, you don't ever think that you could do what they could do. So seeing color is your kryptonite. And then you won't be out here with a butter knife trying to undo yourself. Instead, they wanted him, right? But he had to maintain integrity. That's on him. We already know how the game go. He know now. He know better now too, right? He didn't know. So he just had to learn a lesson. That's what made me start giving the side eye when they first tried to make out like he tried to harm her, but he only tried to harm himself with a butter knife. Right. And again, you have to look at how they made it seem so salacious. When I saw the notification on my phone, I think I was getting ready to go live, so I didn't have time to read it. I saw football detained by police. I thought it was somebody having a CTE crisis, because you know how they be, and I didn't even go back to it. It wasn't until last night, when I had finished everything, right? Because I'm on all these platforms. I got to comment, go all these comments. And I turned on YouTube and I think I had put my bonnet on and everything. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, this is what that was? They made it seem like he was a deranged lunatic that broke into his side chick house and tried to off her, him, and everybody else around. That's not what happened. Supposedly he had a key after this firing. He went to her house, but they put her in harm's way because apparently they must have told him that she gave evidence of the relationship, but he knew about it. Everybody knew about it. So he must have went over to the house, opened the door, went in and started babbling, and she freaking out. And he grabs a butter knife and she freaking out because why did you do this? And I'm sure that's what it was. Why did you do this? And he probably was flipping out, and she knew what she did was wrong. So what she do? She do what they always do. She called 911. Isn't that what all Karens do? Call 911. Again, I have to go back and look at her father. I'm pretty sure he's somehow in the football world. And I couldn't remember if he was on the NFL level or something. It's something about her father, though. But they both should have been fired when they found out about the relationship. And they have known about the relationship because they weren't even hiding it. So he should have just went to the Walmart parking lot and cried for a bit and get his thoughts together. It said, I knew he was, well, it said because no Black American man going for that. I don't know. People crazy, but I don't think we would have been doing all that, especially now with a butter knife. It said, does our Black community have standards? Yes, we have standards. So we're not going to blame this on everybody that's Black. Absolutely not. It said it's a bad look for Black coaches. Why is it a bad look for Black coaches? White coaches do the same thing. It's only a bad look if you buy into the nonsense that this only happens to Black coaches. It's not a bad look. It's a bad look for any man that's married. I don't care if you work at the post office. It's a bad look for any man that have children in a marriage. If y'all not legally divorced, it's a bad look, period. So I ain't giving nobody a pass at all. So, okay, Miss Pamela. It says, Shannon, you owe the community apology. Why does Shannon owe the community? I think Shannon dealing with his own. Let me tell you something. Shannon had to pay that woman $23 million. He don't owe us nothing. We ain't Jesus. We ain't Jesus. I'm like, he might owe his daughter an apology because he didn't want to pay $30,000 for her wedding, and this happened right after that. Believe me, he don't owe us nothing. He owe his daughter an apology and Jesus, because we ain't got nothing to do with that. He ain't got nothing to do with that. It says Shannon Sharpe is not married. Right. He's not married. He was single, and he moved as a single man. And he was actually in what? Consensual relationships that was highly transactional. So Shannon, because he didn't see color, he didn't know how to protect himself, and he learned a lesson. And every Black man seems to learn this lesson when they put themselves in these situations and they give these women, these white women, leverage. It happens all the time. And that's part of the plot, actually. When are our men going to learn? The ones that don't know the lesson? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It's karma for Shannon. It said prior to his incident, he refused to pay for his Black biological daughter's wedding. That's why I said Shannon don't owe us shit. He might owe his daughter an apology. And Jesus, he don't owe me nothing. I don't know him personally. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell he would have to apologize to the community for, because what he did, was familial. He was in a transactional relationship, and he didn't want to pay for his daughter's wedding. They ain't got shit to do with us. All we can do is learn from his lesson. But hell, I see color every day. It's there every day. You don't have to be in a storm if you know how to control yourself, especially with these women. It said Shannon really needs to be, why do he need to be ashamed? I'm like, it's just a lesson, y'all. He just let me tell you something. When you owe somebody $23 million, you ain't got to apologize to nobody, because that's your lesson enough. I would never, ever, ever want to be on the hook. Like, that's a lot of money. And he know that that's how much he made. And he know that they were sending him a message. And he know they were sending him a message because on that bench, they saw color. So sometimes, your punishment is enough. It's just enough. Definitely coming for prime, but he 3 steps ahead of them. Thank you. And that's facts. That's facts. It says Shannon didn't lose just the $23 million. He lost more than that. He was on fire and was looking at $100 million. Now that's true. That's true. He lost $23 million in cash, And he lost $100 million brand deal. That's facts. But Shannon might get that back because, as you can see, he back on it. That's the difference between Shannon and Sherrone Moore. Neither one of them saw color. But Shannon ain't never say that out loud. But I don't think he see it either. Just because you can listen to the way he talk. Yeah. That $100 million deal. That's the only thing besides the $23 million. He can't control neither one of them. He absolutely had to pay the money. And the crazy part is, after we heard about he had these brand deals, 3 companies, vying for his content, that went out the window because she sued him. I can't figure out what would make anything change. His content is still good. So why would you back off of him? Oh, because of the allegations. It was grapes. That's what it was. That's what it didn't look good. So yeah, it was the allegation itself. That's right. It said that Archman it ain't. Yeah, but let's see. See, we gotta wait till the Cheez-It Bowl. I'm not watching it, but we have to wait till the Cheez-It Bowl to see what the results are. Because I think there might be an agenda based on the timing. I don't think they only waited at Michigan until after the signing period. I think they also waited to after Ohio State and before. And hell, they might have wanted to lose Ohio State so they could get rid of him. Because people assume that's why he got fired. I'm like, how the hell you gonna get fired because you lose in one school? But I looked at who they play next. I said, the Mannings. They keep popping up. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We are going to see. It said Manning coming out if the Browns get the #1 spot. It said trade Shilo Sanders and Watson will be the backup. I don't think they can. Oh, yeah, because they can't move Watson. I could see that happening. However, they don't have to wait to the #1 spot. Understand this. Tennessee got the #1 spot. They don't need that. They didn't want it last year. So all the Browns got to do is sit back and just wait and trade up. And he don't even have to come out first. In fact, I'm not even sure it's a good idea that he come out first. I don't think this game is enough for him to come out first. I think what this game would give him is what Jackson Dart got, a pass to sneak up into the first round. Because they're going to make sure he get the money in endorsements. Understand that. So Sugar Creek, I believe 75%. You are 75% correct on that. But they don't need him. And I don't think it's a good idea to come out at #1 because he ain't no Heisman candidate. He not coming out before Mendoza. I don't give a damn what happened in this game. But this game could give him a pass to sneak up like Jackson Dart. So yeah, 75% agree with you on that. Like I said, we have some things to work out, but we are a collective in this game. Are you talking about the Bears? Let me know. It says some of these. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. What you do in the dark will come into the light. Facts. And what were y'all saying? Who said it? What you do what comes out in the wash? So what is it? What goes in the wash comes out in the rinse. Facts. 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 Coach Prime only date black women that have money. And that's true. That's true. That's very true. That's true. That's true. How much did Shannon pay her? $23 million. Cold hard cash. 23. She was 19. It said, I remember watching a Colorado podcast and they kept talking about CP and his culture. And another person was speaking about the music the players play, stating he should be teaching a school song. Now, 2 things to that. I do recall there was some type of issue with the music while they were working out. So they had to turn off the music while they were working out. Does anybody remember when Ben Finnesith was talking about White Boy Wednesdays? Remember that? Right around that time. It was an issue with the music and working out. And then I remember conversations about the school song. And I noticed this year, the music they were playing in the stands and stuff was just different. So I said it. They were carving Coach Prime out of the equation. And look at where we are. I was right about that. I was right about that. I said they carving Coach Prime out. You can see the culture changing right before his face, and they telling him, right? And now you see all of his people getting promotions elsewhere. Coach Prime gonna land on his feet, right? Keep the prayers going up for Shedeur this weekend. Facts. I want Shedeur to win against all odds. Now, I think they might be trying to set him up to win because the agenda, Shedeur win, Caleb loses the playoffs. But I want Shedeur to win against all odds this weekend because you could see, he knows, right? He that's why he talks about the trust factor. He knows that they are intentionally holding him back. Shedeur ain't crazy. He been playing football all his life. He knows that they practicing them dumb Wildcats. He know that. He knew they was practicing them last week. Hopefully they ain't practicing them no more. Browns agenda TV rating. Shilo Sanders and Draft Manning. Yeah, I told y'all, I think they going to try to get this kid to pop out. It's going to be a surprise. I think the only person I know to declare for the draft is Sincere Brown. Has Omarion declared for the draft yet? Do y'all know? You know how they put out their little thank you and stuff like that? The quarterback at Jackson State, I think he put out his thank you. Did Omarion declare yet? Anyway, I think the Cleveland Browns, with Shedeur Sanders as franchise quarterback, should draft Omarion Miller late first round. I don't think they're going to do it because if you look at who they draft since 2020, they don't get those kind of players. They get defensive tackles. And you know why. It said, I still like the Browns versus the Bears. 28th ranked defense. Me too. I totally agree. I agree. I'm always praying for that young blood. Facts, consistently. Hey, Amber, how you doing? It said, wasn't they calling that street ball? What you talking about, Amber? Let me know. It says Shedeur said he liked to make things happen when they slow down. Okay. All right. Prayers up for Shedeur's. Facts. Stefanski, if you are this offensive guru, why since Shedeur, your play calling is predictable, right? Because he's not any of that. I want to know what the hell got him to bend Haslam and what got him to force Stefanski to bend. Was it because Coach Prime was nice to him and didn't punch him in the throat? What was it? It was something, right? The pressure been there. I mean, it's thicker after them damn Wildcats, but something got Stefanski. I mean, not Stefanski, but something got Haslam to lean on Stefanski, and we know it wasn't Andrew Berry. He has a direct line to Haslam. So something made Haslam bend. Something made Haslam make Stefanski bend towards Shedeur. We shall see. I think they still waiting to see if the kid gonna change his mind. Adults know right from wrong too. If you know it's wrong, prepare to suffer the consequences, right? And that's what comes with being an adult. If you know you're gonna go out here and put everything on the line, you don't need to be grabbing no butter knife, bro. I'm like, you knew what you was doing. You was creeping in plain sight, bro. But see, you was bold with it because you got away with them giving this girl this raise, and she showed you. And you better check to see if they was playing her to use you so they can get you up out of there. Because how you gonna run and tell that you knew he was married and you was cheating with him too, but you want to keep your job? She don't need that damn job. I'm telling you, look up her father. She don't need that damn job. They just put the cheese in the mousetrap. That's what I think they did. And that's what I think they did with Coach Prime. What they called him gender hires. And there's that one that you see every single time. I said, Coach Prime, you better move on from that. And I'm not saying there's nothing improper happening. I'm saying if they got to make up a lie, that's what they're going to do. Because they sensationalize this whole story with Sherrone Moore. If you would have said on the news, he tried to off himself with a butter knife, people would think, what? If you would have said he walked in the door because he had a key, there's no home invasion. So what he has to do is what Chiron Lacy had to do. Fight off these lies and these trumped up charges. And it was something about the timing. It was supposed to devalue him. And guess what? It did devalue Chiron. Because they used that to avoid paying him his $14 million buyout. Like I said, the NFL was going to use Chiron Lacy's having to go before a grand jury, just like Deshaun, to devalue him in the draft. That's why his grand jury hearing was 2 weeks before the draft. Let me tell you what y'all are seeing here. You are seeing exactly how ruthless they are when it comes to Black coaches, Black quarterbacks, and Black athletes, Black players, whether it's college or the NFL. The mission is the same from the NFL to college when it comes to Black football players. Somebody got to get devalued. A quarterback, somebody got to get held back. Head coaches, somebody can't get the job because it's too many or it's too much money. You're seeing exactly what Julian Johnson-Law said. The extent that they're willing to go. That's what you're seeing. And people need to know that. Girl, you killing me saying they still practicing that Wildcat. Because they are. I'm like, he better not come out with that Wildcat this week. He gonna get jumped in the stands. They gonna come out of them stands on him. He better leave that damn Wildcat somewhere else. I'm just like, they were practicing a Wildcat. What did Shedeur say? We don't call no plays we didn't practice. That was very genius the way he said that. Because they really try to get him on the hook, and they need to stop that too. Stop trying to trap him. Go trap Stefanski. Hell, he giving you everything you need. It said you guys are not voting for Shedeur in the Pro Bowl. He's way behind. How you know that? How you know he behind? Because he at the bottom? That's the yardage. Anonymous, we are voting. We put the link out there too. The Anonymous say y'all better go vote for Shedeur in the Pro Bowl. Y'all slacking. That's what he say. It said, did we see the Browns locker room gave Shedeur a Himmy award? That was funny. Shedeur just took the award and said, bro, it's cool. Right. That was from ESPN. That was from ESPN. And Shedeur ain't impressed by that. Like, no. Shedeur want to win. He don't want no trinkets. He'll take Rookie of the Week because that came from the fans. But this was from ESPN. And they just trying to get his fans to watch them. And I'm not. I'm not at all. I don't even watch them on YouTube. Nope. Praying Shedeur will overcome the remaining games and not get hurt. Agreed. Amen. Lord, amen. I hope and pray that the defense on the opposing team will not go overboard trying to hurt Shedeur. I agree and amen. Totally agree. It said, yes, they want to take down Caleb. So I got somebody to say, to admit that Caleb is the one they want to lose this week. It said Kevin Grandstand is Stefanski. Facts. All right, y'all let me know, who do they want to lose the game? Caleb or Shedeur? They need to practice if they still gonna call that stupid mess. They don't need to call no damn Wildcats. They don't need to be doing that. It don't work like that. Like, that's not some magical play. That's so predictable at this point. And they have failed twice. And why do we need to take the quarterback off the field to get 2 points? There's a regular 2-point conversion. Stefanski just playing and trying to keep playing. Let's see if Haslam put his foot on Stefanski's neck to make him do right or to make him posture. I want to see which one it is. And I'm going to be looking when we live for the game. It said Shedeur got to protect himself on Sunday. Everybody injured, right? It said Browns game will be televised on Fox. Okay, y'all. So the game going to be on Fox if y'all want to watch it. I'm watching it on Sunday Ticket. It said Bears going to win on Sunday. As long as Shedeur Sanders plays well, it's all good. Okay, coach. Now, that has worked for Jackson Dart. If Jackson Dart got numbers, they don't care about the record for the Giants, which is crazy to me. Do you really think if Shedeur lose these last 4 games because they set him up, because that's what it's going to take, by manipulating the personnel or trash wildcat play calling, that don't work? You really think they're going to let Shedeur off the hook if he don't win these games? No, they're not. They already positioning it that he has to win these games. And no, he doesn't. Because Jackson Dart is only won 2 games. So why Shedeur got to win? What goes for Shedeur don't go for Jackson Dart, and vice versa. And we just not talking about that with Chiron? You think Chiron is the only black man in Michigan history to cheat on his wife with a white woman? No, he just the only black one. So what goes for Jackson Dart don't go for Shedeur. We all know that. Shedeur can't be Shedeur, but Jackson Dart can be Shedeur. You can be positive, you can be optimistic, or you can be naive. But I promise you, the narratives that are out there, he got to win these games or they going to find him a franchise quarterback, because I think personally they waiting to see the Manning kid going to ball out now that Michigan is in disarray, and they're going to use that game to coax him out of school. And they're going to say, well, Shedeur didn't win no game, so we're going to get the Manning kid. Oh, they don't want Mendoza. Haslam wasn't at Indiana. He was at Ohio State in UT. And he wasn't there for Julian Sand. He had Andrew Berry with him. That was a business trip. And Andrew Berry is the GM, the go fetch. So that's why he took him there. Andrew Berry could have been at home with his kids. Pressure bust pipes. Facts. Facts, facts. It says Stefanski realized no one would hire him. He showed it. That's exactly what it is right now. I was like, it's funny how I hear you saying you can get a job no more. That's exactly what it is. That's facts. It says Shedurians fans matter, and your votes really make a difference. NFL Pro Bowl voting ends on Monday, December 15th. Yes. Can y'all please go vote for Shedeur for the Pro Bowl? I'm gonna put it in the chat again, just in case. Here it is right here. I'm gonna put it back in the chat. Y'all have no excuse to go vote. I don't know how somebody would think he's at the bottom, because I didn't think you could see all of that. Like if I look at quarterback, they have the quarterbacks posted by yardage. That's why Shedeur is at 819 in front of Burrow, who's been out, and Taysom Hill. So they got Shedeur dead last. That's why they held him back. I hope y'all know that's why they held him back. I hope you know that's why they held him back. So he wouldn't be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. So he would be at good positioning for the Pro Bowl. That's why they held him back. All right, here's the link to go vote for Shedeur for the Pro Bowl. I just posted it. All right, it's on the screen so y'all can see it. So you can see my post. Copy it and paste it or click on it and go vote for Shedeur. Get out the pocket if you see a setup Shedeur. Facts. And I think he will, now that they are embracing his off-schedule plays, which is ridiculous. That's ridiculous just to say that. BJ said they want Caleb to win. Okay. It said, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It says, say Sharon, but you can't call Tyrone. Nope, can't call Tyrone because you don't see color. It said, prayers up to Chiron Lacey. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Pretty brown eyes. I'm going to put on the screen who they said is leaning on Haslam. Boy, there you go. Boy, there you go. Could be, because the pressure's been there. But every single time, 47 pop out. I'm just saying, he didn't have to pop out this time. But that don't mean I ain't making them calls. I'm going to go with that too. Yup. I think you might be on to something. Because that's the only thing that makes Haslam bend. Because he ain't been none of this time of the way. None of it. And ain't nobody talking about Stefanski getting no job no more. And Stefanski talking nice. Talk to me nicely. There you go. There you go. What y'all think about them apples on the screen? This is what made Haslam Ben. It wasn't Coach Prime, because remember, Coach Prime went out there and was nice and cordial, and they let Stefanski run right the hell out there with them goddamn Wildcats and screw up that game for Shedeur at least a third of the way. Yep. And then, like a switch, things flipped and changed. Yep. Must have got one of them text messages. Yep. I like it. Yep. I like it. And if that's the case, Shedeur gonna win this game. For once, Stefanski only won 3 games. And if don't nobody else want to get him, he might want to win this one. So I ain't no betting person. I wish I did know how to bet. I could actually make some money, but I don't really know how to bet. But that's okay. Just seeing Shedeur win is enough for me. Mary Kay tried to defend Stefanski, and Dion said lies. Yes, I saw that. I saw where Coach Prime reposted what Jamie Foxx said, right? I saw that. I think I saved it. Let me see if I saved it, because it's rare for Coach Prime to do that. Y'all know it's rare for Coach Prime to do that. And maybe because Colorado acting stink, ain't no point in playing nice no more, right? I mean, they're already trying to run him off. And I felt like the only reason he wasn't saying much was because of what? Hold on one second. It said, I don't know. They talking about, I was trying to see who they was talking about. I think I have that post. Yep, this is it right here. I'm gonna share this with y'all just in case y'all didn't see it. I know some of y'all probably have. All right, let's see. Coach Prime. All right. So it is rare. I do believe it is rare for Coach Prime to speak out about these things. And I felt like part of the reason was because he had the kids over there. He had to get to the draft and this, that.
Actions and managing them.
But maybe because things are so bad, and because CU try to blow up his spot anyway with the recruiting and everything. What is that? I mean, I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. So I might as well stand up for my son. That's what I think it is. So let's take a listen to what Coach Prime reposted after Jamie Foxx said, knock it off. Let's listen to what she said.
And it's not that they didn't think Shedeur had that kind of a high football acumen, because he does. But he was starting a little bit back further in the process of all the things that you have to do to go out there and play pro football, just in terms of the play calling and the sliding the protections and managing the motions and all that kind of stuff. He just had to get up to speed on that stuff. But he has just gone lightning quick at coming up that learning curve. And here's something to remember. We have now heard from a number of people. He is in that office every single day with Kevin Stefanski, going over tape and learning this pro game. And I think that has helped him tremendously. So for the narrative that's out there that Kevin Stefanski has tried to sabotage him and that he doesn't like him, no.
She lying, and she ain't gonna tell us what we see with our own 2 eyes. She not gonna tell us what we see with common sense. She is protecting Stefanski because he need protection, because he in trouble. And she thinks it's her job, because she also been lying on Shedeur. So she just a mouthpiece. And it should tell you that whoever said that, Pretty Brown Eyes might be on to something, because why? You got her on one, you got Stefanski talking nice, you got her defending Stefanski, and she the lead mouthpiece for the Browns. And then they want to bend toward Shedeur now. But they refuse to say in post that he's the future, or the future's bright with Shedeur. They only say that about Quishon or Harold Fannin Jr. Mixed messages. The only thing that's different is the Browns having Stefanski to say he embraces Shedeur's style of play, and that his play calling will embrace Shedeur. That's the only thing that's different. But to have her coming on this side saying Stefanski didn't sabotage Shedeur, it fits with the messaging that he now has. So like I said, you're not going to tell us what we didn't see. She just lying. And Coach Prime reposted that. He reposted that and said, Jamie Foxx, if you notice, he said, knock it off. Coach Prime said, thank you at Jamie Foxx. And how many? 500, is it 500,000 people or 51,000 people? 500,000 people saw it. 5.2 thousand people put a heart by it. 709 reposted it. And the comments were 254 were the comments for what's going in there. And most people are saying a white rookie quarterback throws for 250 yards. He's a franchise quarterback. Shedeur throws for 364, 4 touchdowns. Oh, we need to see more. We might have to draft another quarterback. It's showing people true colors. It's sad that it's still racism in sports in 2025. So that's the consensus based on what she said. Because I said it. That, no, anybody want to see more from Shedeur? Anybody don't want to see anything else from Shedeur? Want to see him fail? You don't need to see nothing else. This kid is number 2 above 30 goddamn quarterbacks, with Dak being the first for this week and him being the second. You don't need to see nothing else, because number 3 was a vet also, Jared Goff. So not only did he outpace in jersey sales, he outpaced in skill. And he was held back because they knew he would. Yeah, they know he would. So Pretty Brown Eyes might be on to something. 47 might have been like, I ain't going to say nothing out loud, but I'm going to give you a chance to make this right. I'm going to need you to let that kid play. Or I'm going to need one of them franchises over there to be mine. Or my friend want one too. We don't know, but we know something made him bend, and we know the messaging is mixed. We support Shedeur, but won't say the future's bright with Shedeur. That's why he shunned all of them Himmy awards. He don't want that. They got to respect him first. He talked about trust too much. That's how you knew he wasn't being respected. And I don't know why anybody would have to tell Stefanski to draw up a game plan to support the quarterback. That's what you're supposed to do. And to let it go on this long is malfeasance. So I don't know. Other than what Pretty Brown Eyes suggested, is that 47 is the difference, because nothing else has made Haslam bend but that. Because that's what happened in the draft. So, yep, you might be right. So, yep, prayers up to Chiron Lacey. It said, no, Omarion hasn't declared for the draft. Interesting. Interesting. Haslam hates bad publicity. Interesting. Okay. Mary Kay tried to defend Stefanski. Yeah, she lied. So, Omarion hasn't declared yet, guys. What y'all think? He just waiting? Maybe he going to get an offer for another school? What y'all thinking? So many Browns players are injured. Yep. With my earpiece, listen to what she says sports. Thank you. Who's that? Isaiah. Thank you, Isaiah. I hope Shedeur plays well and doesn't get injured. Facts. That's what we want, right? Somebody said, dang, Shannon refused to pay $30,000 for his daughter's wedding. Wow. He's a cheapskate. He was barely engaged in her growing up. Oh, he wasn't around? Probably because of football? Is that what y'all saying? Correction, the Giants have the number 1 pick at the moment. What? Again? What they going to do with that? Interesting. All right, y'all. I guess we're going to get out of here. It says she called her attorney before she called 911, and her attorney told her to call 911. What? The little girl up at the, she no little girl, but the chick at the school? Let me see something right fast if I can verify something right quick before we get out of here. What's, okay. So the lady he had an affair with, AI is thinking about it. AI said her name. Now I asked about Sherrone Moore, and somehow they gave me Shannon Sharpe. That's crazy. Her name is Paige Shrivever. Didn't y'all say something about the Shriver dude? This is a connection over here to Sherrone Moore. Paige Shrivever. Okay, the recent media coverage is Paige Shrivever. It said an executive assistant at the University of Michigan. The name, that's her name, Paige Shrivever. Remember I said her dad had something to do with the NFL or something like that? Hold on a second. I think those are different last names though. Yeah, I think somehow her dad like is something. All right. Veteran Bears scout. So her dad is a veteran scout for the Chicago Bears. Yep, that's it. I knew her father was something. Yep. Before she started working for the University of Michigan Athletics Division, and its then head coach, Sherrone Moore, they done wiped him out. He all former everything. Paige Shrivever, the daughter of veteran Chicago Bears scout Jeff Shriver, was profiled by the Bears team because of an illness she was fighting. So I don't know. She had some kind of illness in 2016. She was an active college student in 2016. At that time, before she was sick, would go on a 30-minute runs, taking cycling classes and lifting weights. She was a junior at Purdue. So why did she work at Michigan if she was a junior at Purdue and her dad worked for the Bears? Why she didn't work for the Bears? How she get to Michigan? That's interesting. It said later settled in at the University of Michigan, where she received a large boost in salary in recent years and worked for Coach Moore, who is married to his wife, Kelly Moore, with whom he has 3 kids. Shriver has drawn attention because of her social media accounts, which have been deleted or privatized, although it's not clear when that occurred. She had something called POMP disease. I don't know what that is. That's interesting. It said during college, she had a marketing internship in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and she knew something was wrong, the Bears said. So they profiled her for this injury. So I don't know how she get from 22-year-old from West Lafayette. I don't know how she get from LSU to Purdue with her roots and her dad at the Bears, but then somehow she ended up in Michigan. They even talked about her boosting salary. That's crazy. Yeah, I think everybody kind of knew about this. And the sad part is, if Sherrone Moore was fooling with her because he wanted to angle for an NFL job, don't overlook it. And he knew her dad was a veteran scout, and they probably scout for Michigan. He crazy. Because you're going to be pariah in college. You're going to be pariah in the NFL now. And don't be surprised. I don't know his wife, Kelly. I don't know what she do. But he might have saw this girl as an opportunity to climb a ladder. And instead, he ended up in handcuffs. Yeah, because I don't know why she couldn't work for Purdue. She had an internship in Baton Rouge. It wouldn't surprise me if it's LSU. And then her dad is with the Bears, but she is at the University of Michigan. Were they putting the mouse with the cheese? Because they didn't need her text messages to know that they were in a relationship. Everybody knew. And they told him she got a transfer. And hopefully she been fired too. So were they putting the mouse with the cheese? So they could get him, and he thought he was going to get an opportunity to get to the upper echelon, which is the NFL for college coaches, because of her dad. Why would her dad want to help him if he married to somebody else? It would be interesting to hear his wife's story on how things were going. All right, so we're going to get ready to get out of here. That was some good info. That was some good info right there. So if y'all heard that, y'all know her dad works in the NFL. And I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but I'm starting to think the mouse might have been assigned to the cheese, or whatever the cheese was assigned to the mouse trap, or however you want to say it, because she done moved around a lot. And for her to end up right there, I find it very interesting. I find that very, very interesting. Again, I would love to hear the wife's story. I don't need nothing from him. I want to hear the wife's side of things. Like, had he moved out? Did he say he had his own apartment? See, that could have happened, right? Were they having marital troubles? Were they living apart? Were they already in the process for a divorce? Just because you married don't mean you ain't separated. Some people don't ever get a divorce. So I would love to hear the wife's side of things. Did she know? Because if everybody else knew that they were together, did the wife know too? So that's interesting, right? All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I don't know, we might be done with that topic. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's see. We know we already scheduled. Look for the notification. It's already out there. The watch party. It's already scheduled. I'm excited about this game. I think Shedeur gonna win. I know he can win. Even on paper with the stats, Shedeur can win this game. I know there's been a lot of personnel changes, but he overcame the O-line last week. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about who he gonna throw the ball to. I heard Luke is supposed to be in here. I heard Dylan Sampson is out. I kind of hate that. But then there's another guy, and depending on how long he's been around, maybe everything is okay. I heard Jerome Ford might be out too. And then Corley, one of the tight ends, is out. So it's just a lot of movement around the people that got to catch the ball. That's what I'm worried about. All right. So, but then Shedeur run it in himself. He'll run it in himself. So it's not a worry, but that's something to look for. So we just pray Shedeur overcome. And I'll be back tomorrow. If y'all see any, just like in case you missed the videos, if you see it, just hype it up and hit the like button for me. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll be back tomorrow night. Have a good one. 10:35 p.m. Saturday Night Live. See y'all later. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports.